So I'm sitting here and I'm just relaxing, doing some work on the old YouTube, you know? And I see this video here on my timeline, and it's called The Whole Johnny Depp Situation. And it's from Trisha Paytas, but it's on her very special Paytas Hakam family channel, which is just fantastic. I mean, I'm so happy that we're getting into family channels before your kid's even born. Okay. This is the perfect time to get into family channels too, if you think about it, because it's right when everybody's like, wow, this is really bad. And Trisha's like, perfect. Perfect for me. This is a problematic space. I'm going to jump right in. But you want to know what? I mean, to Trisha's credit, she's flexible. She's not on her OF, but at least in here, she's keeping up with the curve, keeping up with the times. She's probably going to be relevant forever. And that kind of just sad for the rest of us, huh? She's going to be more successful than us. So, she already is. She's never going to be irrelevant. Next year, maybe I will be. Let's hope not. Anyway, let's see what Trisha has to say about the whole Johnny Depp situation. I'm going to assume that this is going to be a really solid and balanced perspective, because Trisha is somebody who is very level-headed and not problematic at all, and doesn't have a very toxic relationship with somebody at all. So let's get this going.
Okay, y'all. Hi, good morning.
Thank God she's driving, by the way, and making this. Like, what do you do? Like this, that's like actually unironically dangerous, right?
I'm gonna go get my nails. My nails are atrocious.
Okay.
Fun fact about me: if I don't have acrylics, I will literally rip my nails off and bite my nails, which is really awful because I have an ASMR channel where my hands are.
Listen to her like a little bit fast. It just it's she just can't. It's hard to understand her.
At the focal point. So I have two like good nails, and these just got ripped off. So I'm just gonna try and get them all like neutral. And
Great.
I bought like baby press-ons for when I do my ASMR filming, and then I guess the rest of my hands are just gonna like this.
Incredible.
I have to get used to it. I'm having a baby in like 4 months, so this probably won't get me canceled. And I know I would say like staying on a drama, but obviously there's Johnny
I'm gonna get canceled, so let me talk about it anyway.
I think it's like everywhere, and
Okay.
like before all the like evidence has come out and come to light, right? I like again, for me personally, like you don't comment on things because that you're not like directly involved in. Obviously, the really public court case and all.
Well, this is a very recent ideology you have, Trisha, since nobody thinks you're worth anything anymore.
That stuff like that, or it was a big thing when like Amber Heard had her accusations come out and Johnny Depp, was dropped and all that. It was like a big thing, but the thing is, there was no like audio recordings. There was nothing out at the time, right? So you kind of like I don't know who to believe, but I feel like in those situations, like sometimes you just don't know who to believe. And
listen, we already know you believed Amber Heard at the Me Too movement. Like everybody did. Like it's fine. Okay.
There's this thing, which will probably get me canceled for saying this. It's like believe all victims, and like.
You really thought that was going to get you canceled, Trisha? Like you know that saying believe all victims won't get you canceled. Now it's wrong. You should listen to all potential victims, 100%. But you know that believe all victims is like the going narrative. Like you think you're going to get canceled. You know you're not going to get canceled. What is this? What's this game that you're playing?
It's just so hard because only because I know firsthand both ways, right? I know firsthand where I come forward and talked about something that happened to me, and like no one believed me, obviously, because online my credibility isn't.
Well, that's not exactly what happened. Like you came forward with some stuff, and everybody believed you. Actually, like everybody believed every allegation you sent, and then people started to question your own telling of the story because you constantly kept like telling it over again, and it was always like drastically different, and you had massively different experiences, and people started to question that. So it's not because you had no credibility, it's because you caught yourself in a lot of different lies, or people caught you in a lot. But okay, all right.
Like I did that to myself, whatever. I'll take ownership of it. But it does suck when you do come out with something and then someone else comes out with the same story and crabbers, and people start like she lied.
Crabbers.
They were not there. Like these are people like not directly involved. You know what I mean? Then I've had it happen where someone in my life close to me, or a couple people in my life close to me, have had accusations where they denied it and the other person was adamant about it. You
mean the stealthing stuff with you and Moses? And it is funny though, because you're like, guys, you remember you were to Trisha and Ethan, guys, believe all victims. And they were like, well, what about Moses' victim? Well, but not that one. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. Okay.
And again, you're one of those things where like, I don't know. Like obviously, if you're close to someone, you trust that person more than someone you don't know. And then it comes out that the person that you don't know that made up really horrific lies, like you hear audio of them like admitting that they made it up and
what? What are we referring to?
Lied and stuff, and you're just like, but the whole public opinion is, oh no, believe that victim, believe they were. believe that person.
I've never, just show me where apparently this person admitted that they were lying. I'd just like to see it.
Even though I've heard audio recordings of people like saying, no, I did lie, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. And it's just so, it does, and it's like totally, you know what I mean? It's so sad both ways, always. It's always sad, right? But, some people can ruin people's, like, lives, their lives, based on, like, complete lies, and I've, like, heard them.
It'd be crazy, because if this was, like, a year ago, she'd be doing that. She'd be trying to ruin everybody's life when she had credibility with Ethan. But, okay.
Admit to these lies, but then if you sue them, they get more attention, which is what they want, and also, like, what are you suing for when someone doesn't have anything other than, the truth to be out there? But then it becomes a spectacle, and no matter what people,
when the other person doesn't have anything but the truth. Yeah, that's a great way to phrase that, Trisha. Okay.
Will always, it's like politics or religion. People will always.
I mean, we're at a point though with this whole situation with Johnny Depp where there's a good amount of like evidence. So originally Amber Heard was like, oh, Johnny Depp was abusing me. Then it comes out that like, so that they were both toxic, but Amber Heard was like way more toxic. And there's arguments to be made that Johnny Depp's toxicity is reactionary, which I can understand fundamentally. I think we've all been in a relationship where like we've been in a toxic relationship, not like this with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but we've been in toxic relationships where like you brought the worst out in each other. That's pretty normal. So I get that. But like he was toxic where like he seemed to have like he might be drink a little bit to loosen up, and then he would break stuff sometimes. But Amber Heard would also drink and apparently do some pills sometimes and then beat him. A little bit different. And then it seemed like she was lying about everything, and it's like on tape where she's like laughing and all this and all that, and it's a lot of evidence to look through. I know I looked through it on stream, and I even said at the beginning of my video, guys, I'm just looking through this. I'm going through my evidence here. And you're like, I can't believe that you're not informed on this. Like, bro, I'm just looking at the fucking shit on stream. The risks you take when you inform yourself on stream with stuff. But either way, the information is out there. So it's not like we're speculating so much anymore. This defamation lawsuit, by the way, is what it is. I think it's winning. It's in Johnny Depp's favor. The court of public opinion is definitely in his favor. People are looking at it and like, they're seeing through Amber Heard, and soon she will be Amber Unheard. Got him. Boom. Imagine I made this whole video just to make that joke. Wouldn't put it past me.
Pick a side, even when the truth is like blatantly staring you in the eye, right?
Okay.
And we're seeing that with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, and like, I feel like the public opinion now is, Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Okay.
He was actually the one being abused by Amber Heard.
Yeah. It seems to be the way it
allegedly,
goes.
but not allegedly, because she admitted to it.
And just to move on, because a lot of people are like, Papa Gut, you're biased for Amber Heard. Just so you guys know, like I try not to just instantly align with what the public opinion is. So sometimes me trying to be objective, right? Objective, yeah, comes off as being biased. Okay, I just wanted you to know I took it personally when you said I was being biased, because I'm not. Because I would rather fuck Johnny Depp than Amber Heard. So your logic is flawed. Hopefully you guys can't hear the fucking waterfall outside my goddamn window.
Like, even her lawyer was like, oh, Amber Heard just hit him once and then flailed on him in defense a couple times. So like, yeah,
okay.
She did abuse him. And again, not to say he wasn't toxic. Obviously, there's some really gross text messages from him.
Well, some of them seem to be sexual in nature, maybe, or maybe some joking, maybe some serious, but, again, brings out the worst in each other. I feel like we draw the line, though, at a solid throwing a bottle and breaking someone's finger, you know what I mean? Like, that's, or slicing them, you know what I mean? Like, we draw the line at actual physical abuse.
But...
And shitting on the bed.
Did she...
Which I've done before in accident. I thought I could trust the fart.
Lie about him being, like, wife beater. And hearing these tapes where she's like, I hit you, just get over it, and yeah, and then him trying to run away, and then she follows him and tries to re-escalate, and, I've had one physical altercation in my relationship, and only one physical altercation, and not that it's only one is a lot, one is one too many, and I have been the one to lose my...
I've had a lot of physical altercations in the bedroom. Slam dunk. Probably an appropriate time to talk about this, but I'm feeling a little foxy.
My cool to
okay.
To lose my cool, basically. And I've talked about this before, and it's really hard for me to talk about because
you talk so fast that the auto captioning cannot pick up what you're saying. It's incredible.
So embarrassing, and it's like something that's never happened. It wasn't isolated, so it never happened again, and it was something that like.
We get it. You grabbed you grabbed Moses' arm. We get it. We know what you're talking about.
That should have never happened, and it's something that like hurts me to this day. And people always throw it in my face because they know that it's the worst thing that could possibly happen, and it's something that I can't take back.
True.
But I guess my point of all that is
the worst thing that could happen is you bring a child into this world. I'm sorry.
I would never. I can own up to it, is basically what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I can own up to it. I would never like turn it around on someone else. And that is one thing I can say, and I don't care if like people laugh at me or like whatever. I don't care if people like don't believe me, but like I've never like lied on somebody ever with an allegation. Because for me, I've always felt this way from day one of putting out YouTube videos.
That's a bold take, Trisha Paytas.
Is like everything is easily found out, corroborated, all that stuff like that. And I had an incident last year where people started calling me a liar and just basically made up their own history, made up their own facts, got like nothing right. Are
you talking about yourself? Okay.
People came forward with similar stories to mine and basically just discredited it, ignored it, or said it was me creating fake accounts. So it's all frustrating, but I know, and the way I sleep at night is, yes, I made exposed videos on people that like cheated on me, and I regret that, but more I regret it because it's like just messy, and like, I mean, I was young, but it's just messy. But I never said one lie, you know, about anybody that I've exposed or whatever. You know,
that's true. She never said a lie. According to Dr. Drew, they're all misconceptions. Okay, that's it. Right? Which are misconceptions exist when you're not educated on something and you say you speak on something and you don't know about it. That's like a misconception. But also, Trisha, shut up.
No, when you're really hurt and angry, especially when you're young, like, and especially me, I could understand like the psychology behind.
I don't think you can understand psychology at all.
You know, wanting to exaggerate to really drive home like how much you hate this person and how much this person is awful. But like, I've never done it because to me that's like.
Okay, stop. Because like we're having a real moment there. Like that was a really good point Trisha made. She was like, you know, we can all identify with exaggerating to reinforce like a feeling. That's something that we can all do, and I think we all do that when we get out of relationships. Like there's things that happen in a relationship. Let's say it's a little bit toxic, not like hitting toxic, but just toxic. You get into like a relationship, it's a little toxic, and there's like an event that happens, and then you both experience that event, both of you on each side. And after that event is over, especially after you've broken up and you've been away from each other for a while, you start to relive that event, but with your current emotions. And then you know what I'm saying. And so like a lot of times we tend to, what happens is you have the event, and then you have the feeling based off of the event. And then what happens is that the event doesn't align with the way that you felt. So you exaggerate the event so that it aligns with how you feel about the event to try to communicate that with other people. And that's what I think she's talking about, which is like a really human thing to do. And then she ruined it by saying she doesn't lie. So shut the fuck up, Trisha. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. It's always been like ultimate karma. I had a really bad experience with karma, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because I put it out into the universe, and like it happened with a grandparent who I lied and said was like dying when I was very young.
I just don't care. I don't care about this.
I guess to get sympathy, to get out of something. I don't know. I mean, I did have a really bad lying problem as a child. And again,
are you still a child?
It was never like, I never would. Because I always knew it would like come out right if you say like, oh, this happened. To me, I always thought it's easily found out if something.
Yeah, we all know this as children. That's why most of us don't lie like you do. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Did or didn't take place. Not always the case, obviously, but I just was like, oh, I don't want to even chance that. So it would always be something like, obviously, a grandparent dying is like, you know, not good. But I thought the grandparent was far enough away from the state I lived in that like nobody would find out. Whatever. Come to happen, something happened to that grandparent and passed away, and I would always feel guilt for it. And if, it's like, you know, if you don't believe in that kind of stuff or bringing out to the universe, like, and something with death, I don't think you can really proud of the universe. It's like you can be positive and optimistic and have good, wish good health for everyone, but death is inevitable, right? So I mean, I kind of have worked through that, but I really did blame myself heavily for so long.
I'm surprised you kept this video up, Trisha. And where's the cops? Pull her over. She's distracted while driving. Aren't you pregnant? Like, seriously, aren't you pregnant? Like, why the fuck are you driving and on the phone? Like, you keep looking at the camera. I feel like this is dangerous. Okay.
Over that for putting it out there, and I like, and again, it's a little bit on a smaller scale, but not really. You know, I wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, all that to say, like, the whole Johnny Depp trial and all that stuff like that. It's just hard. It's just hard. I've been on both ends. I've seen both ends of people not believing me. It sucks, and then when there's no like.
What do you mean you've been on both ends? Like, I'm just not understanding what's happening here.
Concrete evidence Like, it sucks. But like, people commenting that weren't there saying like I lied and stuff like that when they're just so far removed from it is so crazy, and that's such an awful feeling. But at the same time, there's issues like this that arise that, like, you know, things don't come out until you go into this big, elaborate, expensive trial, and all this attention's on your private life and your crap issues, and it's just.
What's your fucking point?
It really, really sucks. Obviously, it's a really toxic situation. I mean, I feel horrible for Johnny Depp to be, you know, physically abused, and in the society when you're the man being abused by a woman, I do know like that stigma, unfortunately, firsthand. You know, like.
What do you mean? You know it firsthand because you're a guy, because you're a trans guy. So right.
And again, because it's me. Like, when it happens to me, like, I get it. People are like, you're awful, and it'll always be over.
Well, so like you don't really understand what you're saying, because what you're saying is like, oh, it's awful when a guy gets abused, because a lot of times people will dismiss it because you're a man and you're supposed to be able to like handle your woman and take it, blah blah blah. When it came out that you hit Moses, nobody was like, Moses can handle it. So like you don't even understand what the fuck you're talking about. You didn't get a special pass because you're a girl, like, you know, because you're not a girl. Remember, you're non-binary. You're non-binary. You're a sad boy, Trisha. Except you aren't anymore. That was just a phase to see how much you could milk the LGBTQ community. But yeah,
held over my head, as it should. I do think Amber Heard should always have this over her head. Now, do I think she shouldn't ever work again? I think if she shows remorse, which we're like not seeing, but she hasn't gone on trial yet. I don't know. Okay. You know, it's a tough situation, but it's something that you should always have to hold over. You know, you should always have to have over your head.
Okay.
And obviously forgive yourself, and maybe you'll get to work again if you're lucky.
Okay. Well, I mean, like if it was a normal person, I would say like it would be fine if they went back to work. You know. Because you're just working, and obviously you shouldn't, like, it's shitty. What Amber Heard did was like really shitty. Maybe go to jail. Obviously this isn't like a I think, I don't know what you'd call it, but this is a defamation suit, so nobody's going to go to jail. I don't think this is civil court. I think I'm getting that right. Do I know words? I know Papa God knows words. Boom. I think this is a civil suit. Obviously, if you hit your partner, you should have to go to like jail. The whole point of jail is there's 2 points of jail is one, getting bad people off the streets and away from like general population. But then 2 is to, you know, reform people to put them back into the population. So, you know, we're not doing great at the second one, but for the most part, you'd imagine if you go to jail, like, okay, you did your time and you kind of learned your lesson. And hopefully, you know, there's a 22% chance you did, since the recidivism rate is like 78% in the first 5 years. Which means you go back in like the first 5 years. But like, yeah, you can go back to work. This is a little different though, because this is like celebrity status. So like you not necessarily earn it, but you kind of have to be liked in order for people to watch your shit. That's the interesting thing about being you know, content creator. So
I don't know. I think it's her lack of remorse and just kind of not sympathizing, but like patronizing him over it, being like, oh, you're such a baby and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
At the same time, Johnny Depp has lost a lot of work, money, and reputation over this whole situation. Yes. And it's just really, really sad. And so I'm glad he's.
Why are these two things comparable to you? Like, you're so like weirdly concerned with whether she should get a second chance or not. It's like you're equating her experience of like doing a bad thing and getting caught for it with Johnny Depp doing not a bad thing and then getting blamed for doing a bad thing and then finally being able to like be listened to after years. Like I don't understand.
He's getting some justice. Obviously, like, again, usually these things are toxic situations, and at the same time, I have a little bit of empathy towards Amber Heard.
Nice.
I'm not a doctor, not diagnosing, but I do feel, you know, she has something. She has like overly anxious attachment style, which I can relate to, where she doesn't want him to leave her, and so she does everything possible to like continue to fight, so he keeps engaging with her, so he doesn't
like literally fight.
Leave her.
I mean, like, okay, so we can acknowledge maybe there's a mental health issue here. I feel like they're trying to assign a mental health issue to this so that they can try to brush off some of Amber Heard's like misdoings. Is that the right term? That's the way that I would interpret it more than anything else. But either way, like, having a mental issue isn't an excuse for this bad behavior. What I would say too is that like usually when it comes to like a mental health issue, I don't know if I would say that this is a mental health issue. And the reason is I feel like people who have mental health issues who aren't aware of them, they're always experiencing these issues. Like they're always interacting with the world in a way where everybody would see the issue, right? Like if you're aware you have an issue, and so like Amber Heard, there doesn't seem to be any negative. She's at work, there's no problem. But then she gets home and she's with Johnny Depp, and there's a huge problem. So I feel like I don't know if there's a mental health there necessarily. Either way, just because somebody has a mental health issue doesn't mean that they are absolved of any punishment or wrongdoing. She's still a shitty person. She just happens to be a shitty person potentially with a mental health issue. Like if Hitler was like a quirky white girl, would we say like, oh my God, Hitler had quirky white girl syndrome, so it's okay what he did? No, we wouldn't. Okay, so mental disorders aside, like shut the fuck up. Okay, it's not right. It's just not fucking right.
And I've been there in so many relationships, so it's like maybe untreated something. And so in that way I empathize, because when you're left untreated with like a mental illness, like it's dangerous to everybody, including yourself, and you'll soon isolate everybody. And it's really sad. So this whole situation.
Mental health is an excuse to be a bad person. We get it, Trisha. That's how you feel about everything.
Like I said, I'm glad Johnny Depp's getting some redemption in a situation where he was labeled the abuser, but was actually getting abused physically.
Okay.
At the same time, I think it might be the only person with a little empathy towards.
I feel like that was a little. Okay, I know I'm reading into this a lot.
At the same time,
hold on.
The abuser, but was actually getting abused physically.
So like I don't know why, and you know what? Take this with a grain of salt, because maybe I'm just reaching, but it feels like the fact that she clarified like he was getting abused physically. I don't know. The subtextual argument there seems to be that there was other type of abuse that he may have been dishing out to Amber Heard. I might be like super reading into this, so don't take that as like a fact. It's just like it's just what I get out of it, but I could be totally wrong. So.
At the same time, I think it might be the only person with a little empathy towards Amber, because I've
probably
been there, and it's not right, it's not okay, but
okay,
being untreated or all that stuff is very scary, and it's the worst.
It's untreated because she doesn't have the resources to get treated, right? Shut the fuck up! Oh my God,
it's scary when you can get really low, and
I feel like it's an excuse. I feel like whatever she has, it's like an excuse. But okay.
Hearing Johnny, talk about wanting to end his life, it's just a lot, and it's heavy, and that's
same. I'm also
all
heavy.
right. Let me know what you think. I'm sensitive to like everything in the situation. It's all awful, and it's such a, it's all awful. The whole thing's awful. When it comes to stuff like this, everything's awful. When people feel some type of way, they feel slighted, they feel this, they start exaggerating, they start doing this. Like it's all horrible.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. I'm a little tired. The whole exaggerated thing, I didn't even like pick up on it. It took me until just now. It feels like that's her way of like brushing off what Amber Heard did. It's like, oh, they're exaggerating about what happened, but it's just because they feel a certain way. They feel like quirky. Like it's like, bro, Jesus, this is this is a little bad. This is a little bit bad, Trish.
I guess moral of the story is don't, you can hold someone accountable. You can tell the world how awful someone is without exaggerating.
Oh wow, Trisha, you are a real bag of shit, huh? What she's saying is that's what she's saying about Amber Heard. Hey, you could tell the world about how much of a bad person Johnny Depp was. You just shouldn't have exaggerated. Like comparatively, he's not bad at all. Like, what are you fucking talking about, you stupid idiot? Why the fuck? Like, he didn't abuse you. Bro, you had a toxic... Okay, so from her perspective, the relationship was toxic. It wasn't abusive. From his perspective, it was abusive because she's literally fucking abusing him. So, she told people that he was doing horrible things to her when he was just... would get drunk sometimes and, yell, which is shitty. But then, she would hit him. So it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, holy fuck. Like, Trisha, this is horrible. What your take is really, really bad. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, listen, I understand where Amber Heard comes from. Maybe she had a mental health issue, and she didn't realize how bad she was. Okay. Still kind of a shitty take, but fine. But she's just like, Johnny Depp, he was beaten, but Amber Heard, she is a girl. So, what are you saying here? Why are you living through Amber Heard so much? What the fuck? Why are you projecting onto Amber Heard and then begging for sympathy? That's what it feels like. It's like Trisha's like, hey, I've done bad things, and so I can relate with Amber Heard. I can empathize with her. So if I can spin the narrative for people to be empathetic towards Amber Heard, maybe they'll also be charitable to me. That's the vibe I'm getting here? It's crazy.
The exaggeration and the lies can ruin someone's life, and you can still get justice for yourself if you think you need it, if you also just tell the truth. Because once you start showing a few cracks, or as far as just admitting to,
you show all your cracks, don't you, Trisha? Sorry.
Hitting someone on audio, then you know, you lose credibility. And again, I know this because I've exaggerated things, not on people, but you know, myself or whatever. But I still stand by. I've never exaggerated on somebody.
Sure.
You know, because
okay, we all believe that, Trisha.
One, that's bad karma, and two, like, it's easily found out, and three,
you didn't even like believe in karma until last year after you got canceled. Shut the fuck up.
You know, there's just always ways to prove it. And I've always been scared of, like, you know, getting sued or something. So I've always said the truth. And in my drug era, that was just a whole other thing. But anyways, let me know your thoughts.
Like, your drug era was like your whole life, Trisha. What the fuck are you talking about? You talk about how you're on fucking drugs when you're on the Frenemies podcast. So what do you? Is a drug era like everything before literally today? Like, I don't understand.
I you know, I try and stay out of like the gossip and this kind of stuff, but
no, you don't.
It's something that like
shut up
weighing on me and everybody's, you know, TikTok. It's kind of like, you know, and it is so public, so commenting on it.
Okay.
I'm having a baby soon, so really I try not to. When it comes to matters of like me and stuff, I just don't even like look at anything because I'm like, oh, right now it's just people still thinking I'm faking my pregnancy, which is people. Sometimes you're just like, wow, what is my life? And it feels like a little bit of a circus.
Yeah. Well, you are a fucking elephant. I'm just kidding. That's mean. All right. Terrible video. Thank you so much, Trisha, for your input. Really appreciate it. Great.